Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to the Weekend Eve. This is Any Given Sunday on KUAW. I am the awesome voice, Brian Kress. Coach 24, Darwin Penny, is still in the Dominican Republic, watching a lot of baseball and trying to bring more players up so the Royals can get better and start playing playoff baseball. That's what we're looking for. And behind the scenes, running the show, Mr. George Walker, DJ Scatter. Mr. Walker, how are you doing this evening?
Hey, it's a little warm outside, but I'm doing just fine.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, we have been out the last couple of weeks. The first week, your granddaughter down in Texas was graduating high school.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was.
Well, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I want to say hello to Layla if you happen to be tuning in to this today. And Layla graduated from, I was going to pull that up. Should have had it up ready for you. But we'll get it. It's not too far buried.
No, it's not.
There it is. She graduated from Martin High School in Arlington, Texas. The class of 2024, which was a class of 888 seniors.
Ooh, there 8 seniors?
888 seniors.
Oh, wow.
That is a huge high school, I tell you.
Yeah.
They had it in Globe Life Stadium, where the Rangers play.
Ooh, nice.
That's where they had the graduation, and it really went through fine, without a hitch. There's always some students that want to, where they got their chance on the stage and stuff.
Yeah.
And they had a couple of protests that came across the stage.
About what?
The Palestinian.
Oh, my
gosh.
God.
A couple of them, I guess, were from Palestine. They had the flag and stuff. But they went across, showed the flag, walked off. No big deal.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Nobody got upset. They didn't hold up anything. They just kind of wanted to show their country, I guess. Something like that. And then there's a couple of acrobats in the group.
Was that you?
No.
Were you one of those acrobats?
No. But, they went through. They graduated 888 students.
Wow.
And they did that in about a little over 2 hours.
That is really impressive.
They went right through and stuff. And the stadium was so huge, though, that they didn't have to tell people to be quiet, because if they called the kid's name and their parents and family hollered out, well, it's so big, it's like 15 people hollering at the Royal Stadium.
Exactly.
Nobody heard them. They heard themselves, but it didn't stop the program, because the stadium speakers would still announce over the next person that's coming and stuff. So they didn't have to pause it. It just rolled right through a couple hours, and we were out of there. Because at first I thought, 888, we'll be sitting here half the morning.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And they cut out a lot of the pre-stuff. There wasn't the choir singing and all of that stuff.
Right.
It's like, we're getting right down to graduation.
So I know the stadium probably look a lot different with the graduation than it does baseball. Now, before that, did you ever go to the previous Texas stadium?
No,
for the Rangers?
I've never been in a Texas stadium, and that was the first time on the complex, too, because the AT&T football stadium is right there.
Right.
And the old Texas stadium is right there.
Oh, so that stadium is still there?
Yeah, I said, well, what are they doing? I said, there's 3 stadiums here. They said, well, they play high school ball in that.
Oh, wow.
The high schoolers play football in the old stadium.
Oh, nice.
I said, okay, because, you're standing there, and somebody else plays there, too. I think it's not soccer, but I think they've got a couple other, I want to say minor sports, that use the stadium.
So they utilize
it's just a whole little complex there, yeah.
So that's great that they at least use it instead of just tearing it down.
Right.
Because I was there, what was it? It was either 2010, 2011, and I saw the Rangers play there with my girlfriend at the time. And it was a beautiful stadium. Now, unfortunately, a firefighter or the ones that were dealing with the ambulance or something. Josh Hamilton tossed a ball up in the stands, and a guy fell between the scoreboard and the stadium part, which was sad, but it was a beautiful stadium. Now, how was that stadium?
Oh, it's nice. It's a covered stadium, and it's huge. And it's really decked out pretty nice. It was easy walking around in it. They've got a lot of good parking. I'd say it's a nice baseball field to watch a game in.
Right, absolutely. Now, saying that, you have AT&T Stadium, you have the two Texas, the Ranger Stadium, and the old Ranger Stadium. Is Walmart still over there?
Walmart is still over there. Also, they have a building, and I couldn't believe this, but it was a e-sports arena.
Really?
Yes, it's definitely not as big as but I thought we drove by and I'm reading the sign and said, they got a building for e-sports?
Oh, wow.
So they've got their own stadium that you can go in and watch people play Madden football or something, or what, a Doom, whatever they're playing, I don't know.
Wow, that's awesome.
But they have their own stadium there. Or I wouldn't call it a stadium, arena maybe or something like that.
Right.
But the sign outside, I mean, it was built for it says esports.
Oh, that's so cool. That is really cool. Now, saying that, your granddaughter, Layla, is she going to college? And if she is, where is she attending?
She's going to college there in Texas. Matter of fact, I got to leave out of here Sunday morning to take her to orientation.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my, you're driving all the way from Kansas City to Texas.
No. I said we just got through driving and we're not going to drive again.
You're gonna fly.
We're going to fly down.
Oh,
I
okay.
had some,
but you're still going down
but I'm
there.
going down there again. It's like I just come from down there. So, but, it's grandparent duty that you got to do and stuff. So we're flying down there. And I forgot the name of the college. It's between San Antonio and Austin in Texas. If anybody's out there knows the name of the college there between San Antonio and Austin, give us a call on 816-599-6893. That's 816-599-6893. And it's a college, I think she's going into nursing. I'm not nursing, take that back. It's pre-med. Is what she wants to go into and stuff. And she may shoot me for not knowing the name, but hey, I don't know.
So is it a big college?
No, it didn't sound like it was
so it's a small
Texas
college.
State or something like that.
You know who would have known? Coach 24.
Yeah, now he would have known.
Coach 24, if you're listening, call in.
Because he was right. It's right in his backyard.
We need his info. Give us a call.
Because I sent him that picture from the Ranger Stadium, I texted him too. Because I thought, I was right down in this.
Did you text it to just him, or did you text it to both of us?
To both of them.
Oh, okay, we did the group text. So
yeah, both of you got it.
Hey, see, even us young guys know how to group text. So
we did that, and the stadium is down there. There's a Walmart right around the corner. A block over, a lot of little eating places, fast food stuff. I mean, it's a urban stadium. It's not downtown.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess it might be downtown Arlington. I mean, it's not in downtown Dallas. Let's put it that way. So that may be close to downtown Arlington.
Yeah, isn't Arlington north of Dallas?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, it's either...
Is it east?
No,
it's
no,
west.
Maybe it's west. Maybe it's west of Dallas. Okay.
And it's real close to Six Flags.
Right.
Because the Six Flags was right up the street. We didn't go by there, but in that same little area, you could turn and go up to Six Flags. So Six Flags was... I know it was less than a mile because you could kind of see some of the stuff. So they've got a lot of entertainment in that area, and I guess that's sort of what they want to do here in Kansas City, is to try and have an entertainment area where there's a lot of things. I don't know if it's going to happen. Right. Because if we end up with a stadium way over in Kansas, well, it depends on where they put it in Kansas. I hear Kansas City, Kansas is trying to get. If they put it in downtown Kansas City, Kansas, that may not be as bad. It'd be closer. But if it goes out to Overland Park, we still are spread out.
Right. Actually,
you won't have one central area.
You do. And if I know we're not going to have time today because we've got other stuff that we're going to discuss, but that could be one of our topics on next week's show, which means you people that are listening to us right now, make sure that you stay tuned next week at the same time for our show. So that will work perfectly. Now, the reason why I was gone last week was because I had tickets to, I didn't have the tickets. Amy had the tickets. So, hi, Amy. Thank you very much for taking me. And we had a great time. So, we saw Earth, Wind, and Fire and Lionel Richie. And I'm telling you what, even without Lionel Richie, Earth, Wind, and Fire could have had their own concert, and it would have been outstanding. They were just phenomenal, and I know that they are, and obviously they're not the same without the main guy, Maurice White, who had passed away, I believe, 2 or 3 years ago, something like that. But you still had Philip Bailey, you still had the others, and so at the beginning, Philip Bailey, was singing, and I was kind of questioning if it was Philip Bailey because usually he has that high range voice,
right,
and he is usually the lead vocalist of most all of their songs. So I was listening to this, and I'm like, where is Philip Bailey? Well, about halfway through, he showed up. Oh my gosh, he nailed it, and yes, everybody just went nuts.
So he probably has to save his voice a little bit now.
Yeah, he did.
The whole concert.
Yes, he did. He just kind of held it under control, and then he let it out. And he's, still didn't. I mean, there were some songs where he just completely nailed it. But my favorite Earth, Wind, and Fire song is "Let's Groove." That is my favorite song, so I love that one. And then you had Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie is an absolute showman. He was phenomenal. He is 75 years old, and I'm telling you what, he could still sing. And, I mean, it was just so awesome. He got the crowd involved. He got, talking. The first thing he said was, first, the Chiefs won a Super Bowl, and then they won back-to-back Super Bowls. And I said, and I have not been to any other cities. All the other cities are just, okay cities. But I finally went to a championship city, and so the fans go we are all going nuts, obviously. So, and then he goes, but now they're going to go and they're going to win 3 in a row so I can come back to Kansas City and sing 3 Times a Lady. And that place just went, oh, yeah, we were just all just jumping all over on that, man. He sucked us in, yes. So, oh, my gosh. So he played all the songs and everything, and it was just amazing concert. And then he had the one song, Fire, which he was with the Commodores with. And so the backstage part, they'd shoot like 6 or 7 shots of flames up in the air and everything, and it was so cool. Yeah, I'm telling you, it was just an awesome concert, and just totally oh my God, I totally enjoyed myself. And I'll tell you what, you go see Taylor Swift and you got to pay premium dollar. But, Earth, Wind, and Fire and Lionel Richie, and next week next Wednesday, I am going to see REO Speedwagon and Night Ranger. So I'm going to see that with my kids and my best friend. And so you see those, and yeah, you're going to pay a few dollars, but you're not going to pay the premium dollars that you would for Taylor Swift and
you mean
all
y'all
the
didn't have any $700 tickets there?
No, I didn't pay no $700 tickets. Now there could be $700 tickets, but it would be up front. So, and that's okay. They can have it. I will sit back and just enjoy it. So, but I am looking forward to that concert next week. I look forward to. I totally enjoyed the concert last week, and I met. You know, I'm always meeting people, and as my mom says, you don't know a stranger. There's not a stranger that you don't know or that you meet and everything. So, I met this guy, and his name was. It was short. It was Mimi, but I think it was Mimi Battle, and I hope I got that right. But he was a great guy. He went to college, or worked at a college at William Jewell, and this doctor. Well, he has a doctorate in like sports. So like when you know how the NFL draft does, and they pick the player's mind just like like a doctor would take a physical and make sure that all of his body parts and he's sound and everything. Well, he does the mind, and he can look at a player and distinguish what's his good parts, what's his bad parts, what's the positives and even negatives. And so I'm going to try to get Mr. Battle on the show and maybe try to get the doctor, and I can't remember his name because I was enjoying the show so much that I ended up forgetting. And I am getting old, as my kids tell me. I am getting old, so my mind is getting a little bit forgetful. So, but anyway, so now I know his wife's name. His wife's name's Julie, so that was easy. But his name is Umeme. So, and I want to say Mimi is his name. So, and I was like, and he's from Georgia, but he's lived up here. I want to say the past 20 years or something with his wife. So they met at Lindenwood College in St. Louis. So see, now that stuff I can remember. That's to me that's stats. But trying to remember a name like that, that's a little bit difficult. So we've got a few minutes left in the first half of Any Given Sunday on KUAW. I am Brian Kress, the Awesome Voice. Coach 24 is out on out scouting more players, and I've got George Walker, DJ Scatter. 816-599-6893 is the phone number if you guys want to call in and speak your piece, or if you have any questions or any comments. I know Curtis Rogers wants to come in and say something, anything, so hopefully he will do that. So anyway, I am wearing a Kansas City Royals jersey, and I'm actually wearing Salvy's jersey because last Saturday, after the Royals came back and won their second straight game from come-from-behind fashion against the Seattle Mariners, he went to Harrah's in Kansas City and come-from-behind fashion against the Seattle Mariners. And he went to Harrah's in Kansas City, and I got backlash in my ear against the Seattle Mariners. And he went to Harrah's in Kansas City, and I got back. No, it's all in my ear. So anyway, so we go to Harrah's. I take my mom, and we go meet Salvador Perez, and my mom, she has had a rough year, and I'll just leave it at that. Personal issues going on with her and my family. And so Salvador Perez is her favorite player. My sister made sure that she could watch all the Royals games this year. Unfortunately, I have Comcast, so Bally and Comcast are fighting like two women, fighting over a guy that's not even worth it. But she gets to see her Salvi, and so I took her to Harris, and Salvi was signing autographs. So I had a friend who I deliver mail to him, and he was telling me all about it, and I was like, hey, if I can somehow get my mom to be able to go up there so she can meet Salvador Perez, I would just be in debt with you, because this would mean so much to my mom. I said, I'm not worried about getting pictures with him or anything else. I really didn't worry about getting autographs, but I did. I got a jersey autographed and a baseball autograph. So we went to waited in line. Now, he was supposed to have been there at 7 o'clock, and I imagine he probably did. And that line was I am imagining this, because we got there roughly in between 7:30 and 7:45. Because he told me, he said, go a little bit later. Don't go at first, because then you're waiting in line forever and ever. And I didn't want my mom standing in line for what seemed to be eternity. Now, he was going to be there for a couple of hours. So when we get there, there's a line, but we are near the end. Once we get there, obviously we're in the back, but there's a few more people that line up. So it started dying down. So we wait in line, we're talking with other people, and then so we finally go in and we walk in, and I was hoping that I could get my mom to get a picture with Salvi. Well, they wasn't doing that, because they were just trying to get people in and get autographs and get out. So I tried to get her in front of the table. So like Salvi is sitting here, and we're coming in here like this. And so I told my mom, turn around and smile, because Salvi is smiling. He has the perfect smile. He didn't lose track of it whatsoever. He stayed in form completely. And so my mom, on the other hand, was struggling to get the pictures, and I was like, okay, it's okay. So we got pardon me. So my friend, he got my items, and Salvi autographed them, and then we moved on. Well, we should have left, but we ended up seeing a guy that had his mom there, and I believe his mom was roughly around 84. My mom is in her 70s, and I'll leave it at that, because I don't want her yelling at me if she hears exactly how old she is. But so we're over there talking with her, or talking with the guy and his mom, and we're just standing there, and so everybody is finishing up, and then my friend Craig, his wife Diane, comes up and says, "Oh, she goes, oh, I remember you," but she knew who I was, and I had to look at her and take a second look, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you're Craig's wife." He goes, "Yeah," and she goes, "Just stay here and wait." So we were like, "Oh, okay." So everybody was done getting their autographs, and then all of a sudden, all the dealers, they were handing them jerseys, different colors, gray, blue, dark blue. I mean, all white. They had all the jerseys handed out for him to start autographing, and then had bats, had balls, had posters, cards, everything. So we were just standing there. We were thinking that we were in the way, and they were like, "No, you're fine, you're fine." So we're standing there and we're talking with the gentleman and his mom, and I wish I could have remembered his name. He's from Harrisonville, so I apologize for not remembering your name. But we were there, and his son, Salvador Perez's son, was there, and he's roughly in between 6 and 8 years old, and he is just the cutest little thing. And he was so good. He just stayed right next to his dad, didn't go nowhere. Every once in a while, he put his arm around him while Salvi was signing autographs. I got a few pictures of those. It was so cool just watching that. So they they finished finally, and so they're putting all the bats out and everything, because obviously there's going to be a show the next day, because there's a lot of room in this. It was this one room, usually like where they have meetings and stuff, and so there was tables all over for all the dealers, and so there was like Chief stuff and other items, and I never did look because we were just there with just checking out Salvi and with my mom and everything else. And so I am wearing the hat that the gentleman gave my mom, because my mom was talking about my dad a little bit and kind of got teary-eyed. And he had bought like 3 or 4 hats, and I believe they were like $5 or something. So she gave her the hat that I'm wearing for my dad, and she was like, my dad, Dad's got a ton of hats, just like I do. So I'm just, later on she told me, I'm just going to give this to you. So I am wearing it tonight. So Mom, if you're seeing this, I am wearing the hat, and thank you for giving it to me. So then Salvi was done. He was preparing to finish up and head out. And so Diane walked up to Salvi and said, these couple of people would like to get their picture with you. And so my mom was the first one, so that was really cool. So she got to stand next to him. I took a few pictures. She got to chat with him. I mean, it was only for about 30 seconds, but when you're talking with somebody like that, and my mom talking to him, sometimes it seems like it's like 5-10 minutes, but she just enjoyed it. She thanked him, and I shook his hand. I told him, thank you so much, God bless you for doing this. And then we backed away, and then the other woman, she stood over there, got pictures with him too, and then a few other people, one of the dealer's kids, the twins, they got pictures. So I mean, it was just a really great evening. Salvi, I will just say, is absolute class. He is awesome. His smile never left. And I can't, it's hard to fathom just sitting there and signing hundreds and hundreds. So he was signing, after he signed all of our merchandise, that he was signing dealers' merchandises, which could have been easily 400 items. And, his smile never left. He just kept doing it. His son just stayed right next to him. And Salvi, I just want to salute you. Thank you so much. You're so awesome, and I am so glad that you're a Kansas City Royal. And my mom just enjoys watching you even more and more now. So then I posted the pictures on Facebook, and a lot of people saw that, and they totally enjoyed it. And with that, we are at halftime on Any Given Sunday on KUAW. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to take a halftime break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about the Royals and what has happened with them the last few weeks, and where they're going from there. So we're going to take a break, and you are listening to KUAW. back for the second half of Any Given Sunday on KUAW. George Walker, DJ Scatter, Coach 24 Darwin Penny, and myself, the awesome voice Brian Kress. And the Royals have had a very, very successful season. They've went as much as 15 games over 500. In fact, actually, this past week, they were considered the sixth ranked team in the power rankings of Major League Baseball after taking 2 of 3 from the Seattle Mariners, especially in the fashion that they did, and the fact that they had come so close, even in the third game, losing in 10 innings because Seattle scored 3 runs in the top of the 10th, and then the Royals came back and scored 2. They have just been playing very well. Well, unfortunately, they ran into the buzzsaw called the New York Yankees, and so when I was growing up, the Royals and the Yankees were pretty much the same, except for the Yankees always seemed to get the better of us in the playoffs in 76, 77, and 78. But I'm telling you what, this year the New York Yankees are pretty awesome. They are definitely the number 1 team in baseball, and for the first 3 games of this series, they showed it. They showed that they were much better than the Royals, and a lot of times it made us look like, are we back in 2023 as bad as we were playing and stuff? But today, Alex Marsh needed to come in, and he needed to get a performance. Literally, he needed this performance like nobody's business. And the Royals needed this game. They did not want the Yankees to sweep them. And so with that, Alex Marsh pitched 7 innings of 1 hit ball, and I believe he walked 2 and struck out like 4 or 5, and including Aaron Judge 3 times. Struck him out 3 times. I'm telling you what, this power team, and I'm telling you what, they weren't hitting home runs. They were hitting missile launchers. I mean, I don't know if some of those home runs have even came back, but they just totally just took care of business against the Royals the first 3 games. But the fans never did waver. They didn't quit on them, on the Royals. They kept supporting them. I think there was almost 22,000 people today, and I worked, so I didn't hear most of it. But I'm looking in when I get off work, and the Royals are up 2-0. So I get in my car, and I'm listening to the Royals. Yeah, I'm listening. Alex Marsh is pitched to Jim. I would have loved to have at least seen Alex Marsh go into the 8th inning just to see where he'd gone. I don't know if he was completely spent, was the reason why they took him out, but they brought in Schreiber. And Schreiber, when he has rest between performances, is very good. His ERA is roughly around 1 or under 1. But when you go back to back, his ERA is over 10. Stop putting him in the back-to-back games. Don't do that. And so with that, the Royals were up 2-0, and within 2 batters, within 1 batter, he clocks a shot out of the park, 2-1, and then gives up 2 more hits, and then gives up, and they tie the game, and then they take the lead. And you're going, oh no. So I shut it off because I was like, the Royals were playing well before I started listening to them. And I didn't want to jinx them. And I was texting Coach 24, asking how he was doing and everything. Because I hadn't heard from him. Because he's been busy and everything. And I've been busy too. But I miss, hearing from him and talking with him and everything else. So, I texted him today, asked him how he was doing. And so, so the Royals are down 3-2. I'm like, no, I shut it off or I turn it into my Sirius radio in my vehicle because I'm getting ready. I had to go home. I changed clothes, and then I had to make a few errands I had to run before I got here. So I'm in the car. I'm listening. So I'm listening to my Sirius XM radio, and so then, but I'm looking at my phone. I keep checking just to see how it is. And all of a sudden, I see the ninth inning. I'm like, oh, no. Come on, guys. You can do it. And there was two guys. There was a guy on first and third. And then Drew Waters started it off with a nubber, which was similar to Willie Mays Hayes in Major League. If anybody has seen Major League, Willie Mays Hayes, other known as Wesley Snipes, holds the bat out just like on an accident, and the ball goes about 5 feet. But because he can run super fast, he made it. Well, Drew Waters did the exact same thing. And then you had Kyle Isbell. He got on. And then Miguel Garcia. I don't know why I can't say his name. It's real easy. Anyway, he had already been involved with scoring one of the first 2 runs for the Royals. Hits a liner down the left field line, and then it scores Drew Waters. And Kyle Isbell was running like a pack of dogs was going to chase him, and if they caught him, they were going to eat him alive. So he was running super fast, and from what they said, slid from like 45 feet from home plate. But he made it, slid home, and the Royals did take 1 out of 4 from the New York Yankees. So with that, right now, they went 1-1 against Cleveland, who are in first place. They were first place in the Central Division. And then they played Seattle, who are in first place in the West Division, and won the first 2 games, especially Friday night, after being down 8-0, and came back to win 10-9. And ironically, 40 years before that, the Royals were down 7-0 and had came back to beat the Mariners 8-7. And then Saturday night had the same thing, not as dramatic as Friday night, but they came back and won another game. And then on Sunday, they had the lead, they lost the lead, then they regained the lead, and then Seattle tied, or the Royals ended up tying after Seattle overtook the lead again. And then Seattle ended up scoring 3 in the 10th, and the Royals 2 in the 10th, and lost. And then they played the Yankees. So they lost the first 3 games to the Yankees. This was their longest losing streak of the season. So they have played 3 of the toughest teams in baseball, because there's not very many teams that are over 500. And all 3 of those teams are over 500, and they are getting on a plane right now as we are talking, or as I'm talking to you guys, and DJ Scatter is doing his producing stuff, and they are headed to Los Angeles and playing a 4th first place team. And so the Royals right now, they are 4-6 after, no, correction, they are 4, what is it, they won 5, they are 4-5. They are 4-5 on this 4-team series going on. The Royals are still 25, and I believe they're 25-16 at home. Where is it? Oh, it's not telling me, because I've got the standard version here. Oh, at home they are 25-14, which is still one of the best in baseball. In fact, I'm looking right now, and only one team has won more games at home than the Kansas City Royals, and that's the Philadelphia Phillies, who are 27-10. even the New York Yankees are only 22-10. So saying that the Royals have played 7 more games at home than the Yankees, but the Yankees have the best road record, and they had just got, and the Royals snapped the New York Yankees 8-game road winning streak, which was the longest streak that they've had since 2009. I was 43 years old then. I was young, and I was still vibrant, and I was still awesome. Now I'm still awesome. Now I'm just 15 years older now. But anyway, so the Royals are still playing well. They're only 1 game under 500. I mean, you can't. I mean, this is awesome. The fact that the Royals are still 10 games over 500. We are still playing. We are 3 games ahead of the wild card. I think Baltimore is first, and we're second, and we, in fact, actually Baltimore is 6 games ahead of us. But, and I'm trying to think. They're not showing it. They're just showing that the Royals in the wild card is in second place. So, I mean, this is just really awesome, and so going to Los Angeles, if we can just win 1 game, go 1-2. I mean, it would be awesome if we could go 2-1 or even sweep, but I'm not going to look at that. Now, Cole Reagans is going to pitch tomorrow night, and I can't remember the pitcher for the Dodgers, but Cole Reagans is going to be facing Shohei Ohtani, and so they're just keep going. Now, saying this, after they play the Dodgers, as of right now, 49 of the next 53 games will be played. The Royals will be of the teams that they will be facing will be under 500. They'll actually be 500 or less, and the only team that is over 500 is the Cleveland Guardians, and that's a 4-game series, and that's I believe is next weekend. And that is the series that you need to go to, especially Saturday night. Now, I'm not going because I am celebrating my 40th high school reunion at Grandview High School. Yes, go Bulldogs. And we're celebrating our 40th reunion, so I will not be there. I would love to be there. Oh, my gosh, would I love to be there to see Bo Jackson go into the Royals Hall of Fame. It's been long, long, long overdue, but it is well worth it. So anyway, you guys need to get out there and support them. And you guys have been doing that so far. I mean, 22,000 at a 1 o'clock game when it was in the 90s, and, it's starting to get hot. It's starting to become summer. In fact, summer is official, I believe, next Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, like the 23rd or something like that. So, but the Royals are playing great, and we just need to keep following them. And so here's this. The Royals are 40-30. Now, last year, the Royals had won, well, at the time it was 39. At that time, last year, it took them till August 14th to win their 39th game. And then they turned around and only won 17 more after that, because they did have a somewhat decent September. But they are already well ahead. They are 10 games over 500. They're playing 57% ball, which is not bad at all. Cleveland is 5 games ahead of them. And we are 3 games ahead of Minnesota. We are just playing great. I mean, the AL Central, which has been the laughingstock the last several years, we barely get anybody to play 500 ball or better. Have 3 teams over 500. Cleveland at 43-23, Kansas City at 40-30, Minnesota's 36-32, and the Detroit Tigers are 33-35. Yes, they are under 500, but they're only 2 games under 500 and 11 games back of Cleveland. Now, we also have the worst team in baseball, the Chicago White Sox, and they are 17-52, and 27.5 games behind the Cleveland Indians and 22.5 games behind the Royals. So it is great. And I say that they are the second best division behind the AL East, who Tampa Bay is in last place, and they are 32 and 36, and they're 15.5 games behind the New York Yankees, who have the best record in baseball. So, excuse me. So, anyway, this is pretty awesome. I am stoked. Everybody go and watch the Royals play the Dodgers on TV. Now, if you have Comcast like I do, and you can't get the game, you can get the app. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to pay all that money. I can run over to my sister's house and watch it there. So I can watch that for free, or I can go watch it with my mom. So spending quality time, and just note that Father's Day is this weekend. Make sure you spend time with your dad or your mom, who could have been a dad because the father wasn't around. He may have passed away, whatever. The mom played double duty, so celebrate her too. Now, and I've got some stats for Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt is first in major leagues in runs with 59. He is also first now out of 70 games. Bobby Witt has 30 multi-hit games, so that's 43. It's almost 43%. It's actually 42.9% of his games he has had multiple hits. That is also first in baseball. He is second in hits, and Ararosa from San Diego is one ahead of him. And you saw him if you went out there, which I did, when the Royals played San Diego a couple of weekends ago. So Bobby Witt Jr. is rocking it. Oh, and he is batting .330. Guess what? That also leads Major League Baseball. That is just awesome. And we've got arguably the best player. So we're doing voting for the All-Star game. Everybody needs to vote Bobby Witt Jr. in there and get him on the starting lineup. Now he's going to play. There's no way that they're not going to get him. I believe Bruce Bochy, who is the manager of the Texas Rangers, who will be the manager of the All-Star game, because it's always the manager of the two teams that made it to the World Series the previous year, will be the manager of the All-Star game. So he is going to pick him if he's not the starting, if he's not voted in. So you fans need to get out there and start voting. Vote for Bobby Witt Jr. So now, I just want to say this real quick. We don't have much time. We've got about 5 minutes left. The Celtics are one game away from winning their NBA record 18th title, and that is pretty impressive themselves. Now, they are up 3-0, and I was totally shocked that they won last night, because I really thought Dallas was going to come back and beat them. And the Celtics has just been playing lights out. Now, saying this, they have won 9 straight road games going back to last year. They have won 7 this year. They're 7-0 at or on the road. And so that record is tied with the 2016-2017 Cleveland Cavaliers with 9. And then the Rockets in 95-96 in their last championship, they are 8th. They're tied for 4th with 8 straight road wins. And then the 91-92 Bulls won 8 straight road games. And leading that is the Los Angeles Lakers, which have won 12 in 2001, 2002. And who was the general manager at that time? Jerry West, who passed away at 86. And I know that we'll probably talk about that next week, but I've got something else that I want to talk about to end our show, which is more important. We have, I went to Grandview High School, so going 40 years, graduating high school. Well, there was a kid in 2009 that graduated from Grandview. He played basketball, and they made it all the way to the championship game, and then they lost the championship game. He was Gatorade Player of the Year in high school. He scored 23 points. He averaged 6.8 rebounds per game, 10.2 assists per game, and 1.6 steals per game. I mean, if you're the Player of the Year, you have to be an awesome stud. I mean, he was just a flat-out stud. And so he ended up going to Colorado and played Colorado for 2 years, and then he was drafted 12th overall in the 2011 draft. Now, I know you're going, who are you talking about? I'm talking about Alex Burks. And he is still playing in the NBA. And on Monday at 5:30 at Grandview High School, Alec Burks is getting his name on the basketball court. They're renaming the court after him. He's a phenomenal human being. He's done so much for the school. He bought the basketball players' jerseys when Grandview won their first the first two basketball titles in school history in 18 and 19, which still hasn't been beaten or hasn't been accomplished even since. He bought rings for all the players and the coaches. Just a phenomenal kid. He played for Utah from 2011, 2018. Played with Cleveland 2018-19. He played for Sacramento 2019. He played for Golden State 2019-20. Unfortunately, he didn't get a ring from them when he played. And then he played for Philly in 2020, New York Knicks 2020-2022, Detroit Pistons 22-24, and he finished the season with the New York Knicks and in the playoffs and the opportunity to go to an NBA final to try to win a ring. But saying that, Alex Burks, you're amazing. You're an amazing guy, and you've done so much for the Grandview community. And he keeps it quiet, because I met him in 2019. He was so awesome, and we had a great conversation. I was talking with his not his agent, but he had a rep with him, and we were try to get him to come on our show, and he just said no. And I get that. I would rather have you say no than say, oh yeah, sure, and then never do it. But he didn't. But if I see him, I got to work Monday, but as soon as I get off work, I'm going over there. And if I get a chance to see him, I'm going to ask him to come back on our show. So hopefully next Thursday, we'll have Alex Burks on our show. So we are at the end of Any Given Sunday on KUAW. We had a phenomenal show. Had to get back into it after taking a couple of weeks off. But we still rocked it out. This is still the best sports show around. And I hope everybody enjoyed listening to me. And with DJ Scatter, George Walker, Coach 24, my brother with another mother, Darwin Penny, and myself, Brian Kress, the awesome voice. Be awesome, not angry, and you guys have yourself a phenomenal sports weekend.